Chuck roast, French dip with red wine au jus on Smoking and Drinking. Hey, welcome back to Smoking and Drinking. I'm Mike, and today we're taking a cheap chuck roast and we're going to turn it into the best French dip sandwich you've ever had, complete with red wine au jus. Let's get smoking. Okay, we've got a 6.5 pound chuck roast. Costs us about 20 bucks at the grocery store, and we're just going to season it. We're going to put a rub on there. I've made it's just a black pepper, sea salt. You can use kosher salt, and onion powder. It's a 50-50 mixture of black pepper and salt. And then it's about 3 tablespoons of each black pepper and salt. And then 1 tablespoon of the garlic powder. And we're just, like we do, we're going to just liberally coat the chuck roast with our rub. We're going to put a little bit of olive oil on there first to just as a binder for the rub to adhere to. So it just doesn't take a lot, but you want that rub to stick to everything and soak into that meat. I've had this chuck roast sitting out for about an hour to kind of acclimate to room temperature. It's still kind of cool. It's not quite room temperature, but just want to let it pre-rest, I guess you'd call it, a little bit. All right, we've got it oiled up real well. Just gonna liberally add our black pepper, salt, and garlic powder rub. Make sure you get all sides. We have our smoker preheating to 250 degrees Fahrenheit, and we have hickory wood chips. So that ought to be ready shortly. So as soon as we get this ready to go, we're going to let it sit for about 10 minutes. Let the rub kind of soak in. I want that to really get blended in there. Don't be afraid to get in there with it. I don't think you can over season the meat, in my opinion, as long as if you have a mild rub that isn't too overpowering. All right, we're just going to let that sit for about 10 minutes, and then we'll get it out on the smoker. Okay, we've let our chuck roast marinate a little bit with the rub. Got it on my handy rack here. This just makes it easier to get on and off of the smoker. The smoker is up to 250, so let's get it out on the smoker and get it started. Get our smoker going. Get our chuck roast right in the center rail. We're going to let that go until it gets up to about 165 internal temp. Get our temperature probe in there. Alright, got our ThermoPro temp monitor there, wireless temp monitor. Alright, check back when it's about 165, probably about an hour. Okay, 6.5 pounds of chuck roast is way more than Mrs. Smokin' and I can eat, so I split that chuck roast in half and set aside the other for the brisket. See that in another video. I'll put a link up at the end of this video so you can see that one after you're done watching this one. But with this one, we're going to make our French dip sandwiches with red wine au jus. Let's get started with that. All right, we're going to continue with our French dip with red wine au jus. To make the au jus, we're going to use a cherry Merlot port wine that I made back about a year ago. It is 18% alcohol. It is a fortified wine. I'll leave a a link to that video if you want to see how I made that cherry Merlot. But we're going to use that, and we have some other various ingredients here. We're going to put it in a Dutch oven along with the meat, and we are going to braise it at 175, at 275, excuse me, until the internal temp gets up to about 205. So what we've got 2 cups of beef broth. Also use that beef broth to kind of baste the chuck roast a little bit, keep it moist during the first half of the cook. We also have 1 cup of our cherry Merlot wine. It smells delicious. We have half a cup of Who's Your Sister sauce, Worcestershire. We also have half a teaspoon of thyme. And we have half a teaspoon of rosemary. It smells delicious already. And then we have bay leaf. 1 bay leaf. We have 4 garlic cloves. We'll go ahead and press those. Okay. And we'll go ahead and put our chuck roast right in there. And we're going to just layer in our onions. That's going to make a nice braise. Okay. And then, just going to get the lid on it. Get it back out on the smoker. And we'll let that go, like I said, till we're going to go at 275 until we get up to an internal temperature of 205 degrees Fahrenheit. 203 to 207. I shoot for 205. So let's get that back out on the smoker. All right, I just checked the chuck roast French dip with red wine au jus, and it is at 205. It's nice and tender. It's probe tender. So we're going to bring the Dutch oven in and move on. All right. Oh, I tell you, that smells fabulous. Oh. It's too bad you can't smell it. Too bad we don't have smell-o-vision, but it looks and smells delicious. We are going to leave that covered. We're going to let it rest for about 30 to 45 minutes. Just let the juices to soak back in and the fibers to tenderize a little more, but we're going to let it rest, and we'll check back in. Okay, the chuck roast French dip with red wine au jus has been resting for about an hour. We'll go ahead and get that out of the Dutch oven. A little warm, not too bad. Get some of the au jus off of there. Oh. Once again, I wish you could smell it. A little onion there. All right. So then we just need to cut into this. Wow, got my bun toasted here, my hoagie roll. Got my red wine, cherry Merlot wine, homemade. Let's go ahead and get a cut of this here. I'm going to cut against the grain. So believe that was this way. I think I need a fork. Oh boy, that looks beautiful. Try and cut them kind of thin. Oh wow. I don't know if you can see that or not. That looks beautiful. Take a little piece of that. Nice and juicy and tender. Oh boy. Can't wait. All right. Well, it is a French dip sandwich, so we'll get it on our hoagie roll. A couple slices here. A couple slices of our provolone. I think 2 slices might be too much. Let's make it. I like cheese. Let's put them both on there. And then I want to try and melt it a little bit. Normally you could do it in the smoker. I'm going to do it in our air fryer, our toaster oven, just to do things kind of quickly. I'll get it in there and melt the cheese a little bit, and I'll be right back. There we go. Looks delicious. All right, we got our provolone melted, our hoagie roll toasted, our chuck roast slices on there. I cannot wait. I can't wait any longer. I got to dig in. Got some of our au jus ladled out of the Dutch oven. I'm going in. Mm. Mm. Oh wow. Oh man, that is so juicy and tender. And that au jus, that cherry Merlot, really comes forward as a nice pronounced flavor. Almost even, I dare say, some tannins coming through in the wine. The provolone just is a nice topper on that. That au jus is fabulous. That chuck roast turned out really nice and tender. It's got a nice smoke ring on it. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's smoked real nice. That black pepper and sea salt and garlic powder rub made a nice seasoning on that crispy bark. Wow, that is awesome. Let's try the red wine. It's a cherry Merlot that I made. I'll put a link to that video. You can check that out. Oh yeah, yep, that's a great pairing. That cherry Merlot with the cherry Merlot au jus. You gotta try and make this. Man, that's a keeper. Well, that about does it for the chuck roast French dip with the red wine au jus. I want to thank you once again for tuning in to Smoking and Drinking. Remember to check out that other video on poor man's brisket. I'll leave a link to that at the end of the video. And as always, Prost!